G'day folks. I brought you the story of this particular rifle just the other day in the 1917 Lithgow-made Marksman rifle video, and as a tribute to the owner, Oscar Bell of Gundagai, we're cleaning the rifle up so that it can be displayed on Remembrance Day, a very important day for commemorating this service of those who left home and went to fight for the cause. Now, for those who are familiar with Queensland maple stocked rifles, these rifles get pretty dinged and battered and bruised quite easily. You can see some fairly new dings there, even over a century on. And so what we will be doing is we will be stripping this rifle down, not just stripping it but completely disassembling it, so we can clean the timber carefully, properly, no sanding, no scrubbing, nothing harsh, carefully done. And then we will check the whole rifle over, make sure that everything is working correctly, all of the metal parts have been properly cleaned. Then we'll put it back together and test it and see how we go. So we start by removing all the bits that normally come off. So we take out the magazine to press the release. And this is just an empty one at the moment, just to fill the hole. We take out the bolt, draw it all the way back, bolt head off, and so. So they're the bits that normally come off. Easy. So moving on to the disassembly, I'm going to start with the upper band. And then I'll move to the nose cap. Don't need to remove the piling swivel. Neighbour's dog's having a good time. Moving on. We remove this transverse screw, holding the nose cap in place. And we can see just how much grime's built up on it over the years. Now, with the nose cap and the band off, the front handguard lifts aside. And we can see some of the bedding. And then we come to removing the trigger guard assembly. Take out the king screw. Not the correct name, but you know. And out we go. New one of those needed. Now what I did was I removed the stock off camera because I had to use my little spreader and very carefully tap it so nothing went crack, and the forestock, the forearm, is off the rifle. Now it was getting a bit too dark, so I thought I'll leave it for another day. Now, one thing I pointed out in the 2006 disassembly video was the fact that it's vitally important to leave the buttstock to last when you're taking the timber off, because as you see here, the end of the stock bolt is square, and that sits in this rectangular gap in the keeper plate there. So if you try and take the buttstock off with the forward timber still on, you can hear some expensive cracking sounds, and that results in sadness. So always take the buttstock off last. It is true that some rifles, well, number 4s, but some number 1s did have the square section removed, but I wouldn't count on it. As it is, there's a bit of a crack here that I'm going to have to investigate. Open the little trapdoor here, big screwdriver in. So that's about as far as I'm going to disassemble this rifle. I could go further, but I think I'll leave the safety and the sear and the rear sight on, etc. Might pull the bolt down just to give it a good clean, but I need the right tool for that, so we'll see how we go. Good old citrus stripper. Next door's dog. Now you clean the stripper residue off as per the instructions on the can. I used a fine wood scraper followed by 0000 steel wool, like one of those really fine scouring pads, and water gently so you're not damaging the timber underneath. So we continue. And leave it for 20 minutes as it says on the can, and clean using the approved methods, and particularly when it comes to the sludge and the waste, dispose of according to correct regulations. Using the acetone in a well ventilated area, being outside. We can see that it takes even more of the grime away. Well, the timber's about as clean as it's going to be, and that was done with non-invasive techniques. And it's time to start with the linseed oil. I'm aiming for 3 coats. We'll see how we go. Ah yes, I never get tired of the smell of linseed oil. Well, the first coat's gone in pretty well overnight, and yeah, just doing coat number 2. Etc. And it's time for the 3rd coat. And it's time for the 4th coat. Really getting to see this golden glow. It's typical of Queensland maple. So it's an honest job. It retains the dings and dents and stains and scratches, some of them, because there was no way that I was going to be sanding them out. But it's now pretty clean. And that's the way. I like it. Now, in between the coats of boiled linseed oil, also took care of the metal using some of this fine stuff. That one's pretty worn out, as you can see. We took care of the small amount of surface corrosion and also the years of baked on grime. Now, having a look with the comparison photos, I think it came up pretty nicely indeed. Now, putting it back together, we've backed the safety off very slightly because it goes in there. When I put it in, I don't really want to chew the crap out of it. So in we go, bit of a wriggle, and so we start. But of course, as we know, this is kind of boring, so you get the idea. Now the forearm is back on because it was a little bit hard to do it one-handed, so the forearm goes parallel with the barrel and then eased down here like so and into place. And I won't forget to do the safety screw back up. Now the trigger guard assembly. And the nose cap. And there we go. What? Oh, hello. In for the action. Hey, Stella. Big fan of the 303 is Stella.